Hello, YouTube friends. Today I'm going to be making potato bread. I'm going to be making a double batch, so I'm going to be using 2 1/4 cups of water, 4 tablespoons of oil. You can use any kind that you like. 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 cup of potatoes, and for expedient purposes, I'm using uh, uh, dried potatoes, mashed potatoes dried, but you can use any. You can use fresh or, whatever kind of potato you want. And 4 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of yeast and 6 cups of flour. Okay, so I will warm up my water, and I'll be warming it for about 40 seconds just to get it barely warm, and then I'll come back. Okay, we'll be adding our dry ingredients first. So for me, that's my flour first. So I want 6 cups of flour for 2 loaves of bread. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now I'll be adding the potatoes. And so I'm going to put 1 cup of instant mashed potatoes. But like I said, you can use fresh. I'm doing this for time saving. So I don't have a lot of time today. And I'm going to pour that in. Then I'm going to put my sugar, which is going to be 4 tablespoons. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to put my salt, which is going to be 2 teaspoons, because we're making 2 loaves of bread. So we're making 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. Okay. Now I will be stirring this up to make sure it's all mixed together real good. And I'll be doing that with a whisk. I will do that and then I will come back. Now I'll be adding the yeast, and because this is instant yeast, I don't have to proof it. So I'm going to be adding this to my dry ingredients directly. But I stirred everything up so it doesn't hit the mound of salt or anything and mess up the yeast. So there's 1 and there's 2, because again we're making 2 loaves of bread. And then I'll be mixing this up to get it all in there. So half of my bread doesn't rise on one side and it's all lopsided. Okay, there we go. Now we'll be adding our wet ingredients. So here is my water, 2 cups of water, and then 4 tablespoons of water, which comes out to be 2 cups and a quarter of water. And this is just lukewarm water. And now I need my oil. So I'm going to be putting 4 tablespoons of oil because, again, I'm making 2 loaves of bread today. Okay, now I will put this, get this on my KitchenAid, and then I will be back. Okay, now the reason I added my dry before the wet is when I put the wet on the bottom and the dry on top, when I start to mix it, flour goes poofing everywhere. So if I put the wet ingredients on the dry ingredients, it does a little less of that. So I am going to mix this until everything gets incorporated, and then I will be uh, kneading it for 2.5 minutes. So I will let this do that, and I will be back. Okay, the bread is incorporated, it's mixed together. Now I'm going to start the kneading process. So I'm going to put 2.5 minutes on my timer, and I'm going to knead it for that long. So be right back. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to have this going for 2 minutes, but I am going to have it, but I'm not going to record the whole time. But I just wanted you to see it mixing. Okay, be back in 2 minutes. Okay, 2.5 minutes is up. Now, because this is instant yeast, didn't have to be proofed. It also doesn't have to rise for to double its size. It only really has to rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. And you can see this is a really nice, very supple dough. And so I'm just going to pull it off here and kind of smooth it out down in the bowl, as you can see. And then I'm going to put a cloth over it, and I'm going to let it rest for 15 minutes. I'll do that, and then we'll be back. Okay, it has been 20 minutes, and this has rose a good amount, but not all the way, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be all the way. Okay, now I'm going to put another 2.5 minutes on the timer, and I'm going to do the second knead. So I will do that, and then I will be back. Okay, the kneading is done, and now I'm going to take the dough out of the bowl, and I'm going to put it here on the counter so I can shape it. I'm also going to um, grease my pans. Now you can use butter, you can use any kind of oil that you want. You can use coconut oil, olive oil, canola, vegetable, whatever you want. Today I'm using butter because I like to taste. Okay, I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the bread out of the pan and I've got my bread pans buttered. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and I really should weigh it because inevitably it's always lopsided. One is bigger than the other, but it really doesn't make a difference for me. This is not going to a store to be bought by customers. So if one's bigger than the other, it's really not a big deal. I just get it as close as I can. And then I shape these. It's already been kneaded, so it doesn't need to be kneaded. It just has to be shaped. And what I do to do that is to keep tucking in on the bottom, and then I turn it over, and then I start shaping this side until it looks somewhat like resembling what might turn into a loaf of bread. This is very, very soft dough, and you can undo it and do it again if you don't like it, but I really wouldn't suggest that because the more you work with the dough, the harder the consistency of the bread. So this is fine for me. I'm not really all that particular, and it's going to go in there. So I'm going to do the same to the next one, and then I will be back. Okay, now the bread is in the pan, and I did flatten them out because I like them to rise kind of even, and they will do that. It doesn't matter if you flatten them out; they'll still get a nice muffin top. So I'm just going to cover these with a breathable cloth, and I'm going to let them rise until they're about an inch over the top of the pan. Should probably be about 30 minutes. Okay, I'm back. It has been about 30 minutes, and we'll take these off and we'll see how they're doing. Oh, okay. They are close enough to an inch over the side of the pan to where they can go in the oven. So they will be put into the oven for 30 minutes. And then I will take them out and show you the next step. Okay, be right back. Okay, here I am. It's been 30 minutes and the bread is done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of butter and I'm going to put it on top. This is not just for fun. This is what helps your crust to be really soft. So I give it a good amount, real good amount of butter. Just spread it all over the top. And then when you're done with that, turn it out on a rack to cool. And it's better to cut it when it is completely cool because it'll be easier to cut. But if you just must get into it while it's warm, which most people enjoy, you can probably after about 45 minutes cut into it. And that's basically it. That's the whole recipe and how to do it. And I will put the I will put the recipe in the description. Okay? Enjoy, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe.